Yes. We all know that Periwinkle has never been to New York, but for George, he also never seen the city either. The New York tour was nice and cool and stuff, but that is not the main point of this story. When the tour was done, they just walked around and found themselves a nice little cafe, and it was a little crowded, but it was okay. So, George, when was the last time you've seen the city? Periwinkle asked. Well, the last time I've been here was when I was little. You see, I used to live in a farm with my grandma because my parents passed away when I was very young. And I went to New York to visit my aunt and uncle. But I wasn't that close to my aunt and uncle than I was with my parents. That was the problem. And George sniffed. Periwinkle felt as if she was going to cry. She thought her past was bad. Periwinkle said, I'm sorry. George said, it's not your fault. I should say sorry. I took my anger on you. I hurt you. Periwinkle looked at George with a smile, and she hugged him. Can we speed this up? Winston asked. Yeah, let's go, George said, and they all went back to the White House Hotel. The next morning came, and George decided to go with Periwinkle to the camera place to see how Periwinkle ended up in New York in the first place. Rolls tape. Hey, you know how I told you all the 3 talking creatures were playing baseball and the ball got hit so hard that it ended up in Ponyville? And my science project failed because of it? Yeah, that's it. That's what caused all this. And guess what? I thought it was because, well, you'll see now. I don't want to spoil it for you all. Rolls tape again. When George and Periwinkle got there and asked for the baseball camera, it was not good. George asked Periwinkle, are you okay? Periwinkle started to breathe fast, and then she teleported away. See what I did there? Instead of run away, teleport away? Told you all I was smart. George said, Periwinkle! George went with a lady who helped find the baseball camera to go find Periwinkle. After a while, George just went home. George was upset to go home with Periwinkle's baseball camera and not Periwinkle herself. When George got home, he told his sister Cleo about what happened, and she said, well, I'm sure she's going to come back when she's ready. George sighed, and then they both waited for Periwinkle to come back. They both waited in the living room for her. Periwinkle had teleported in the forest, upset about what she had seen in the baseball camera. Her friends from Ponyville had left Periwinkle unconscious. I can't believe it, Periwinkle said angrily. I mean, why would they leave me unconscious? Periwinkle asked to herself. Periwinkle just kept talking to herself, but then wolves started to growl, and Periwinkle started to get scared. Periwinkle said in fear, "Oh no, 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 no. Why does it always have to be me?" Okay. The wolves growled louder as they walked closer to Periwinkle. As the wolves got closer to Periwinkle, she backed up against a couple of trees, and then once she was cornered, the only thing Periwinkle had to do was pretend she was one of them. Grrr! Periwinkle ran on all four hooves and got a stick. All the wolves were confused but still angry, so they got closer. But when they saw that Periwinkle got a lot of sticks, they started to break sticks and started to break them. The wolves stopped, turned their heads to the side, and then left when Periwinkle roared like a lion. When the wolves finally left, Periwinkle calmed down, and then after a while of being alone in the forest, Periwinkle teleported back to the house. When Periwinkle arrived, George and Cleo were in the living room when they heard the magical sound of Periwinkle's horn. Well, when she teleported, of course. They both got up when they saw her, and George said, "Periwinkle, you're back." Periwinkle said nothing. She just walked upstairs and just ignored what George said. Periwinkle? Periwinkle, answer me. Periwinkle.
There is no active...
Periwinkle. When George was going upstairs, Cleo put her arm in front of him and said softly, "Let her go. She wants to be alone." Periwinkle stomped as she walked up to the room she was staying in and slammed the door, and she locked it too. "5 minutes. George went upstairs to talk to Periwinkle. Rolls tape. Hey, sorry to say this, but you're going to see why this was a very bad idea. Please, no judgments, but yes, I got these same words from a Disney movie. Meet the Robinsons movie, obviously. Okay, back to the story. Will's tape. George went sort of like the same way Periwinkle went upstairs, stomping as he walked madly over to the door of the room that Periwinkle was in. George first tried to open the door, but he figured out that it was locked. He knocked on the door angrily. Periwinkle said loudly, "Go away!" From across the door, Periwinkle and George had a big fight, and then the last words of the big fight was from George. "Fine, you're grounded till you're dead," George yelled, and then he stomped angrily backstairs.